Hello, Taurus. Welcome to your love reading for July 2025. I hope that you are all doing well. We are going to be getting into this right away. First, we'll be pulling some oracle cards just to grab the overall theme and energy surrounding your love life. And then we'll be diving even deeper with tarot to get the details. And please remember that this is a general love reading, so please take what resonates and leave the rest. And lastly, be sure to check out the readings for your other signs as well as your person signs if you happen to know them, because they may offer additional perspectives or angles to your situation. But anyway, Taurus, so let's get into this and pull the overall theme and energy for those who find this video. And I'm going to set the intention right now that for those or that these messages reach those who need to see it. Bring love into the situation, new moon in Aquarius. So for some of you, you may have Aquarius in your chart, maybe your person does, but that is not necessary. But, you know, for some of you, you may be thinking, what do you mean, Aquarius? Bringing love into something that's more emotional, and Aquarius is a fixed sign that is a bit more detached and logical. And the beauty of this card is that it is about taking a step back and acknowledging where someone may be at in a certain situation and still being able to bring love into the situation regardless of the circumstances. And so this is about seeing where the other person is at and them seeing where you are at. And there's this compassion, this understanding. So for some of you, you may be feeling like there is a lack of understanding or possibly even being on a different page, but that's just for some of you. But new moons, they do bring new beginnings. So I do love this energy. Let's pull another card here and see what comes up. And then after this, we'll be diving deep into tarot. Please tell me more, Spirit. What is coming up here? What does the Taurus Collective need to know at this time? Reciprocity in the reverse. So as I said before, being on a different page or feeling like something is not being reciprocated, an imbalanced give and take at this time, something's out of balance is what I'm getting. This is very interesting. What do we have at the bottom of the deck? Fate. Okay. So let's get the tarot out and see what comes up for you. Okay, this has already been pre-shuffled technically, but I'm still going to give it a few shuffles here. So I feel like this is going to be a month about bringing something into balance. Maybe there was some sort of clashing here. Let's see what comes up. So we're going to be taking a look at the current situation, the block, the past, and what has led up to the current situation, your person's energy, your energy, and the overall outcome. So let's see what comes up here. The Lovers in the reverse, Gemini energy. So there was some sort of disconnect. There could be some blocked communication potentially, but essentially not feeling in alignment, some sort of disharmony. Maybe for some of you, there was a breakup here. The block, the Hanged Man, Pisces energy. I'm getting major chills here, or goosebumps rather. This is telling me that, this is suspension, okay? So taking a look at things from a different perspective. There could be a bit of a time out here in the moment. Wow, we're getting all of these major arcanas. Deaths of Scorpio energy. there was some sort of transformation or shift, big change, possibly an ending, possibly a shift into something new here in the past. 10 of Cups in the reverse representing your person, so they're feeling this disharmony. They're feeling unhappy about this situation, about whatever happened here. You're showing up as the Eight of Pentacles. We're going to have to clarify this, but I'm sensing that you may be wanting to work on this, wanting to put in the effort. And if this is not the case, if this is not towards this situation, then for some of you, you may just be focused on your own personal thing, whether that's work or something else in your life. The Star, look at, okay, everything, like the situation, and we had, whoops, well, here, a new romantic cycle begins was technically at the bottom of this deck, but that's not what I was going for. Where's this other one? Here it is. We had Fate at the bottom of the deck, and the major arcana often represents that. These are major turning points in a situation. So things are playing out just as they should, Taurus. You need to trust the universe. There is major healing coming in, okay? There is major, major healing. Hope, okay? Wish fulfillment. This is beautiful. But right now, there may be a bit of a disconnect here, okay? Something's not in alignment. Let's see what we have at the bottom of the deck here. The King of Swords upright. So this is a very logical energy. This is about looking at the facts. And this makes a lot of sense with this Aquarian energy here as well. Okay, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And again, I said Gemini, Scorpio, Aquarius with the star, Pisces energy. So you could have these signs in your chart, but that is not necessary. Maybe your person does, but again, not necessary. But there's definitely a need for communication and looking at things in a logical way, removing the emotions, not completely, but to possibly gain an additional perspective. So this is very interesting. So what I want to do here, Taurus, is I want to pull some more cards. I want to clarify everything. And then I want to dive deep. And as a reader, it is just easier for me to draw all of the cards at once so that I can see the whole picture, so that I don't have to go back and forth. And it's just it's just way more fluid for you and for me. So I'm going to go ahead and pull all of the cards, and I'm going to do it all on camera, and then we'll dive deep. All right, Taurus, let's get into this. So just so that the table does not get too overwhelming for your eyes or mine, I'm just going to turn some of these cards over, and then we're going to go through everything one by one in detail. I'm sorry if the camera moved a little bit. I'm recording on my camera right now, and I had a phone call, so I had to take the phone off the tripod. But actually, we're going to start, we're going to keep this like this. Okay. All right, so for the past energies, Taurus, now this could be the recent past, and for others of you, this could be the more distant past. Take what resonates here. And if this is the current energies that you feel like you're going through, then this is saying that you will soon be shifting out of these energies into the more current energies, which we'll get into. But we have death, the moon, so Pisces energy, the Hierophant in the reverse, and which is Taurus, and the King of Cups in the reverse, which is water, Scorpio, Cancer specifically for the King of Cups in the reverse. And then for the Oracle cards, we have free will and cycles. So this is a very, very clear reading for me, Taurus. And we have some sirens out there. Maybe that's a sign. But looking at the past, the Death card tells me that there was definitely some sort of ending or a major transformation in this connection. And something came to a close. And for some of you, maybe it was a bit suddenly, maybe it was inevitable. But with the moon, it wasn't all out in the open, okay? There could have been some confusion, something that was left unsaid, or maybe even deliberately hidden for some of you. And someone may have walked away here without giving a real explanation. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, this is a ghosting type energy. So for some of you, maybe you were ghosted, okay? Or vice versa, maybe you ghosted someone. Take what resonates here. But I feel like, yeah, someone may have ghosted entirely, leaving the other person to fill in the blanks. And I feel like this person, and it could be this water sign, and if not, then this is just describing their energy, but this person was not transparent, and the feelings were there, though. They were deep. They were intense. Oh my gosh, what is going on outside right now? But their feelings were deep. They were intense, but they were buried. It feels like someone struggled to regulate these emotions, and instead, they either shut down, okay, completely, or they may have manipulated the dynamic to protect themselves in a way. And it could have felt cold, inconsistent, or even unfair. But here's what I'm also getting is that for some of you with the cycles card, this wasn't new. Okay? This could have been cyclical. This may not have been the first time that this person acted this way, whether it's this situation repeating itself or it's a pattern in how they handled this, like situations like this, whether it's closeness, responsibility, emotional truth. There's something that was repeating here, whether it was between the both of you or in that person's life or in your life. Like there's something familiar here. And again, like for some of you, this ending could have, or this shift, whatever happened here, it could have just came out of the blue, and it could have left you wondering, what really happened. And I feel like something just wasn't sitting right with you. And with the Hierophant in the reverse, I mean, usually when it's upright, this is the traditional card of order or commitment, values, tradition in general. And so when it's in the reverse, this is like a rejection of structure, rebelling against expectations, the norm, or refusing to do what is morally or emotionally right. And, this could have been a breakup or a separation, but there could have been a lack of clarity around some aspects of this. And I feel like there was a lack of respect for how their actions would affect others. And it's like, They opted out. Instead of like leaning in, they went towards something that maybe felt more emotionally like safe for them, instead of being, it's like this avoidant energy in a way, and instead of being and acting respectfully. That's what I'm getting here. And now in the current energy, we have the Lovers in the reverse, the Knight of Cups upright, and the Five of Pentacles in the reverse. And we have the cards Metamorphosis and Ego and Pride. So I feel like the Lovers in the reverse alone says a lot. Okay, there's a real sense of a disconnect here, emotional disharmony. I feel like someone is really feeling the consequences of their actions. And I feel like this emotional disharmony is really echoing from what happened here in the past. Because remember, when I drew this spread, it's like the past and what has led up into the current energies. And so I feel like, trust may have been broken, a choice may have been made that left someone feeling like the connection just wasn't mutual or respected. But what's interesting here is out of this disconnect or this disharmony, there's something coming in here, like this Knight of Cups and Five of Pentacles in the reverse. It's like someone is circling back in. Someone is coming in to offer something. So there's an attempt to reconnect, to bridge the gap, to bring someone back in from out of the cold. And this could be an apology for some sort of gesture, an emotional one, or just reaching out with a softer energy than previously. And there's a shift happening here that I'm sensing with this Metamorphosis card. So this is saying that someone may be changing or awakening to what they lost or almost lost. But there's still a message of caution here because of this Pride and Ego card. So this is saying to, move forward or proceed with awareness, not just emotion, because this Pride and Ego card is, I could say it's a red flag. It may be more of a cautionary yellow flag, but, because I'm not going to say the intentions are bad, but this could be some sort of unresolved defense mechanism. Someone may still be operating from a place of self-protection, image, fear of vulnerability, rather than from a genuine, consistent, presence. And I want to further explain that because if we take a look at the block here, the block or challenge is the Hanged Man, Pisces energy, Page of Pentacles in the reverse, which is Earth energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and the Magician in the reverse, which is Mercurial energy, so Virgo and Gemini. And then we have Conclusion and Soulmate for the Oracle cards. Okay. So when we look at the block, and at least when I see this is telling me that someone is either unwilling or unable to fully show up. I mean, I'm getting two different things here, and we'll get into it, but something is stalled here, okay? It's like they're hanging back instead of stepping forward. And there could be a sense of inconsistency, questioning, well, where does this person's loyalty really lie? Who's it with? Where is it? So there could be inconsistency that feels confusing, or this could be reflecting on this past energy. The Magician in the reverse can be a bit of a hot and cold energy. It's like 1 minute engaged, the next they disappear, poof, they're gone type thing. It can be scattered manifestations, or the scattered energy of where someone's energy is literally placed. And so that kind of inconsistency can chip away at the foundation of any connection, no matter how strong the bond was. And with conclusion, soulmate adding to this, I feel like some of you are questioning whether the damage has already been done, or maybe you are seeing this person differently now, or realizing that the connection you thought you had just wasn't entirely what it seemed. And that won't be true for everyone. That's just for some of you, but for others, it feels like there's this lingering hesitation, or a sense that someone isn't fully committed yet to rebuilding trust or truly investing, or there's just this sense of perceiving this person in a different way. And this isn't, about demonizing anyone. It's just this honest reflection with this Hanged Man. And I feel like someone could just be kind of sitting back and observing and seeing just how this person was showing up, and whether that's just how they're still showing up. So there's a potential for reconnection here, but there are challenges here. It's if it's going to move forward, I feel like it has to be rooted in clarity and consistency, and a willingness to grow on both sides. But as I said before, there is someone who's coming out, or coming in rather, but it's out of this sense of disconnect, because when we look at your person, the Ten of Cups in the reverse, the Ace of Wands in the reverse, and more sirens. This is wild. Nine of Swords in the reverse, and the Chariot in the reverse. There's a lot of blocked energy here showing up for this person. So and then for the oracles, we have Mask and Fifth Dimension. So there's a state of turmoil here, in a sense, with these mixed energies that one is attempting to get out of. The Ten of Cups in reverse really makes me feel like they're feeling the emotional fallout of this disconnect that occurred. And there's a real sense of loss here. They're painfully aware that things between you aren't what they used to be, or what they could have been. And it's like this person could be really concerned about how they acted in the past, or what occurred in the past. I think that's a bit of the elephant in the room. I feel like, sorry, I'm picking up so much right now. It's like this question if they contributed to the collapse of something meaningful. I don't know why I'm getting that. Or I feel like this person is realizing their role. The Ace of Wands in the reverse is telling me that there's not much momentum flowing, and they may be lacking the motivation or clarity to reignite things right now. And it's not that this person doesn't care, it's this stuck energy, especially with the Chariot in the reverse. It's like the passion or the spark is underneath, but they're not acting on it. And I feel like, there's a mask here. It's like they want to, but I feel like this person is very concerned about how they're perceived, how much damage has been done. There is this directionless energy with the Chariot, okay? But the Chariot is still here. So it's almost like the difference between the Chariot upright and the Chariot in the reverse is that when the Chariot is upright, it's like getting in the car, getting in the chariot, the destination, you put it in your GPS and you're on your way there. Okay? You know where you're going. When it's in the reverse, it's kind of like just getting in a car. You know that you want to end up somewhere, but you don't have the GPS. You're not really sure how to get there. So it's a bit directionless. And so they may desire movement and they may want a resolution, but it's like not quite knowing how to move forward. But they are feeling this disharmony. It's like, where do I start type energy. The Knight of Swords in reverse, I mean, it shows that if this person is dealing with some anxiety or being stuck in their head, which I very much feel like they have been, they may have been losing sleep over this. I feel like they've definitely been in their head about all of this, losing sleep, feeling guilty, regret, fear. And so now this person, they need to directly face this. Okay. And with the Mask card, like I said before, I mentioned it already, but this person isn't really being fully transparent. And I feel like it has to do with this pride and ego card with how they're showing up. Okay. Now, there could be a shift in this pride and ego because they're showing up to begin with, which is positive, but there's still this mask here. So they're not being fully transparent, whether that's out of, fear, pride, ego, confusion. They're hiding how deeply they're affected or what's really going on. This person needs to take accountability, and so while they may seem fine on the outside, there's a mask here. It's not the full picture. And I feel like with this 5D energy showing up, I mean, this could really feel like a soul connection. And that could be why they still feel, maybe even you still feel their energy so strongly, despite any sort of silence or confusion or this sense of physical distance or emotional distance. There's this pull, and there's a lot going on beneath the surface here that's not being spoken, but it's felt, and it's felt strongly. And so I feel like the bottom line here with this person's energy is that they're not over this, but they're not in a place of clarity or action either. Like, there's emotional weight, there's hesitation, there's concealment. And I feel like you're picking up on that. And it's not just visible on the surface. It's like it's felt deeply. There is this soul connection here. And so for this person and even you, it's like maybe not even fully knowing if it's over. Now for your energy, look at all this sun coming in now. The 8 of Pentacles, 7 of Pentacles, the Devil, upright Capricorn energy. Maybe you have Capricorn in your chart. That's not necessary. And Virgo in the reverse. The Hermit in the reverse, which is Virgo energy. So maybe you have some Virgo in your chart. That's not necessary. And we have the answer is yes, and patience. So I feel like, you are showing up as someone who is incredibly patient and has been patient. And you may be invested in this connection, or at least invested into understanding what really happened here, whether that's for closure, whether that's because you want to move forward with this person and make sense of things. You are not the impulsive type. You're likely someone who took a step back to reflect, to process, and to try to make sense of things. Okay? And I'm sensing that for many of you, this person could still feel like a mystery to some extent. You may find yourself asking yourself, like, why did they pull away? Why did they act like this? Why did they do what they did? Like, what happened? Like all of these questions. And So I feel like there's a desire to figure it out and to have some sort of understanding. And now that I see, you know, yeah, maybe for some of you it is for closure, but I feel like for others of you it's more than that. I feel like you genuinely want to get it. You want to understand it emotionally and logically. And the devil adds a deeper layer here. And this could be looking at this person's unhealthy behaviors and so forth and attachments. But this could also be signifying an energetic hold here. Maybe it's a pattern you're aware of within this connection, like this push and pull dynamic that feels hard to break free from. And maybe for some of you, this connection has been draining to an extent. And I'm not saying that you're stuck, Taurus, but what I'm saying is that you're aware that there's something complicated here, something that feels complicated or intense or even addictive about this connection. Maybe there is some codependency for some of you. But the Hermit in the reverse, I feel like you've been doing the inner work. And maybe if you've been in a period of reflection, that's what you've been doing. And maybe you're tired of doing it alone. I feel like some of you are ready to come out of that deep reflective space and to get real answers or clarity. I feel like you don't want to keep replaying the past in your head, and that you're ready for honesty, not just half-truths or silence. I feel like you're grounded, you're self-aware, you're trying to piece things together again, as I said. Trying to piece something together that has felt unclear for maybe too long. Even if it's just been, for some of you, a week or two. For others of you, maybe it's been over a year. But it's felt too long. And even if you're still emotionally invested, you're not approaching this blindly. There's a lot of grounding energy here. Okay? You're watching, you're analyzing, you're waiting for what makes sense. That's what I'm really getting here. This person down here, I'm just saying, like, they could be really not showing how much they care. There's like more, they care more than they reveal. Now let's look ahead here. The Star, Eight of Swords, Knight of Swords, Ten of Pentacles in the reverse. For the Oracle cards, we have Signs and Fear. So, you know what? Yeah, no, I changed my mind. Okay, let's just continue with this. So, with the Star Aquarius energy, I feel like there is some sort of hope and healing that's on the horizon. Okay, this is renewal, a light beginning to come forward, to emerge after this period of confusion, okay, this confusing road. So there's a potential for clarity, even for emotional grounding in a way, even for reconnection, if that's what you want. But this card is about optimism, hope, renewal, possibility. So I do like this card because it's bringing in this very gentle but promising shift, okay? But with the Eight of Swords, maybe your person, maybe both of you, is still wrapped up in your head. There's overthinking, tendency to just get wrapped up in the worst case scenario, maybe some anxiety. So even as the light returns and there's some clarity, I feel like the mind is still cycling through what happened, the what now, the what ifs, you know? And I mean, the oracle cards are pretty blunt: signs and fear. So I feel like the universe is going to start dropping some clues here, synchronicities, nudges towards understanding and resolution in some way. But fear is still very much in the mix, whether it's a fear of rejection, fear of being vulnerable again, or fear of repeating old patterns. It's lingering, and it could impact how this situation unfolds. And I also feel maybe for some of you, the signs will be there regarding the other person if fear is playing a role in their story, you know, on their end. And I feel like the Ten of Swords and the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse, there will be some sort of communication or clarity. Fast, maybe a bit raw. But this is, if it is a conversation, it's not going to be one where everything gets tied up in a neat bow and it's all clear. It could be a bit messy here with the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse. Because when this is about the long term, the Ten of Pentacles upright, when it's in the reverse, I mean, someone could be in their head about the long term, and there could be questions. For some, this could be just about the immediate period, like right now. Or thinking about the long term is what is getting someone wrapped up in their head. And so I feel like what's coming in, there's going to be clarity. But if there is a conversation, like I said, it's not going to be wrapped up in like a neat bow. There's going to be honesty here, but I feel like it could be messy. It could be even more breadcrumbs of honesty. It's like you're going to have to read between the lines. And I feel like there's going to be meaning behind the words. Like the tone will matter as well. And this could be because whoever you're dealing with, there could be still, because of this mask and pride and ego, it's like trying to open up, but there's fears around it, or it's difficult for this person to communicate in a vulnerable manner. Okay? So, yes, healing, progress, but there's also nuance here. Okay? So the future energy asks for discernment, to pay attention to not only what's being said, but I feel like what's left unsaid. Because I feel like both will hold weight here. Let's pull some advice, Taurus. And please let me know if this resonates for you. Please, if you feel comfortable with sharing, let me know below in the comments. Let's see, the advice for my Taurus, please. Contract. Dream come true. Shattered. Tell me more about contract. Detachment. More about dream come true. Quality time. Tell me more about shattered. Interference. Boundaries at the bottom of the deck. It is time to be very honest with yourself about emotional agreements that you have made, whether spoken or unspoken. With contract and detachment, this could reflect a soul tie or energetic commitment that's still here, that's still lingering, but right now, I feel like the most empowered move may be to detach emotionally, not spiritually abandon, if that makes sense. It's about stepping back with clarity, but also I'm getting this, I don't know, it's like releasing your grip on how things should unfold and allowing space for truth, yours and theirs, to surface naturally. And so it's not about giving up, but rather letting go of control and just recentering your own power. And I feel like this is such a powerful message because it really does highlight the main energy that we pulled for this reading, which is bring love into the situation. Okay. Now, with dream come true and quality time in the reverse, this is saying that, like, yes, your desires are valid and something beautiful can manifest, okay? But not if the energy remains inconsistent or one sided in some way, shape, or form. Because this reciprocity card that we drew, this could be about anything. This isn't, it's like how someone is showing up, it's not balanced. Okay, someone is giving more than the other in some way, shape, or form. And so I feel like, you know, this dream, whatever your desire is, whatever it is that you want, yes, it can manifest. But not, like I said, if there's something that's one sided here. The dream that you want, it's like what you desire, what you want. It requires effort, presence, genuine time investment, not just potential or wishful thinking. And if someone can't or won't meet you there, that's not a reflection of your worth, Taurus. It's a mirror showing you where not to settle. Because the dream is real, but so is your need for consistency, reciprocity, and just someone who can show up in ways that you both want and need. Okay? And with shattered and interference, this points to an emotional shattering or wreckage caused by external influences, people, distractions, fears, self-sabotage. Could be anything, person, place, thing, concept, idea. And while this may have shaken your trust or made you question what was real, you have to realize that you can't control what happened here, what hurt you, but you can control how you rebuild. And the advice here is to clear out the noise, identify what truly is yours to carry, and protect your peace from anything or anyone that destabilizes it. So overall, you're not being asked to close the door on this connection, but you're being asked to close the door on confusion, inconsistency, and emotional interference. And so step back, center yourself, and I feel like there's a need truly to hold space for just what shows up clearly, consistency, and with mutual intent. Because I don't know why I got this, but it was so strong. It's like your dream doesn't require chasing, it requires alignment. And I just got major like goosebumps, chills. And don't get so in your head about this person. Don't be obsessing, don't be overthinking. It's a beautiful thing that I see here, wanting to understand someone, wanting to understand, who they are, why they may have done what they did, and looking at whatever this devil energy is, this, because the devil is anything that gets in the way of someone or a connection reaching their highest potential. So, if you're looking at this unhealthy patterns and things like that, I mean, that shows incredible self-awareness, and that's beautiful in itself. And this patience card, I mean, I feel like you're doing everything right here, but just make sure that you are not overthinking things and getting stuck in your head, because that in itself can be something that could potentially, you don't want to start spiraling into this person's energy of this, Eight of Swords. And, I mean, this person is so stuck in their head about so much. And if this is what, the mess that this person created, it's not for you to try to save them from that or come pick up the pieces. You can hold space, but ultimately to move forward in a healthy way, if you are to move forward with this person, they have to do the work. They need to pick up the pieces, and they owe that to you. So that's what I'm really getting here, Taurus. If this resonated for you, please let me know. Please comment below. I do read all of my comments. I'd love to hear from you. Please give this video a thumbs up as well. That would also mean the world. I just came back to YouTube. So, any interaction with this video really, really helps out. It gets my videos out there. And yeah, so like, comment, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. But yeah, that's what I have for you for now. Thank you so much, Taurus. I love you all so very much, and I will see you next time. Bye.